What is a hidden talent that most people don't know you have?
I have this really weird ability to guess people's professions. Like, it's one of my favorite party tricks, and I can usually guess someone's profession in 3 guesses based on their body language, the way they present themselves, and kind of just their overall vibe. So yesterday, sadly, I was sitting Shiva for a friend, and there was a girl I was talking to, and I said, "Are you a gymnast?" And she was like,
Do you have a proudest moment deep pull where you got somebody's profession?
"Oh yes, my deep pull is probably, I was at a bar, and there were like 4 just really, really aggressive drunk men, and I was like, I bet I can guess your professions. They're like, oh yeah, the girls are gonna guess the profession or whatever. And I guessed all 4 of them in one guess. And then they were like, drinks on us for the rest of your life. Like, this girl's freaking me out. And they're like, are you a medium? Are you a medium? I'm like, I'm not a medium, but I want to be.
Are you familiar with Colonel Bruce Hampton?
Of course, yes. I got to play on stages with him, with the Pussywillows, one of my bands. Yes, as one of our really proud moments.
You know, and his bar trick was he could tell you your birthday.
No way.
Yeah, so I'm thinking that the 2 of you together, you know, rest in peace, but the 2 of you together could have done some amazing things in a bar.
You know, we actually really got along. He was a really good guy and really believed in Carly and myself. And he was like, you know, you guys can do this.
If you had one opportunity to use a time machine, where would you go?
This is so great. I want to go back in time into like the 60s, like free love, rock and roll for all. And we actually tried to create we called ourselves the Treehouse People. We tried to create this community of bands, and we would all work together. We would all create art. We would video each other, take photos, and come to each other's shows. And we tried to create kind of this community, like a Woodstock community. And with technology, it just didn't work. There were too many barriers in the way and too many distractions in the way to really start to create a community like that. So I wonder if all these distractions didn't exist and we just had to be like in our treehouse, if that would have worked better, and we could have been able to take it further. I wanted my music career and have wanted it so badly for so long. And throughout this quarantine, it's been rough. I feel like I've had to reinvent myself in my little apartment a few times. And not being able to play on stage has really hit me hard. I'm just not used to this introverted lifestyle, and it doesn't fill my batteries the same way.
I was just listening to a podcast. It was Andy Richter's podcast, and he was interviewing Conan O'Brien. And Conan O'Brien's dad once said something, and I'm paraphrasing. It was like, through agony is you make art.
I hope so. I'm working on this really cool, my first ever try at a concept album. And I've always been really afraid to do that because I didn't think I was a good enough musician to figure out like how to create motifs and how to really tell a bigger story. It's interesting because my bandmates and I, we've been writing virtually. So like I'll make a demo and send it to them and they'll send something back. And it's really interesting. We're all feeling so many different things, but it's all around this central place of pain and agony and fear, really. So it's been interesting to see what we're all able to come up with in our own little studios. And for me, I've never really considered myself a recording artist. I've always been a performing artist. I really appreciate that part about the job. That's what I want to do. I want to be live. I want to make those genuine, raw connections with people. So that's been probably the toughest part for me, and where I've had to dig deep and remember those feelings. I honestly wish I would have bottled them up and appreciated them more while they were happening. I will never complain about a load-in. I'm not going to complain anymore. I would love to load all of my stuff in the heat upstairs and play my freaking show.
The final question that I always ask at the end of these interviews is this. Tell me the name of an artist that I might not be listening to that I should be listening to.
So if you've never heard of Indie Killed the Pop Star, she's local. Amazing. Jennifer Zoof, Voice of an Angel. Another local, Reptile Room, Sammy Michelson. She is one of my favorite singers of all time. They do some really cool EDM, kind of very vocal heavy, really vibey stuff. I will give you one more since you are MOT. David Broza, Israeli guy, outstanding guitarist. And I've gotten to play some shows with him, and he is just the nicest guy. He's a big deal, especially like in the Jewish music world. But he's got some super, super cool like Middle Eastern flavors. There's some really cool artists and really cool songwriters out there trying to make Jewish music that doesn't feel exclusive.